Okay, today I wanted to talk about something that I really believe is going to lighten you, lighten whatever load you're carrying, and just relieve you of so much unnecessary burden. And I wanted to talk about this because I was looking at my kitten and I was just thinking about how strange it is that it has a brain and organs and like it's there's so many things that could go wrong inside of the creation of the complexity of life, and yet it doesn't. And this is because of an organic blueprint that underlies all creation. And I started thinking more about this and how so often we really try to control things that aren't meant to be controlled. We try to force outcomes in timelines and we pressure things because we feel like we have to hold it all. But how exhausting would that be if in the formation of a child, of a kitten inside of the little kitty mom's womb, if she had to think about every single detail, every muscle fiber, every thread, every cell, every blood membrane thing, that would be horribly exhausting. And that's the beauty of creation, is we don't have to think. But our modern world makes us think we have to think about things. And so we burden ourselves with stress. We carry a lot of pressure around details of things that aren't actually relevant. We move with creation in a way where it's kind of like this intense, burdensome, heavy thing. It really doesn't need to be. The more light we can become inside of our body, inside of our spirit, our intuition, and our ability to just flow, the more just effortless our creations can come through us and into the world. And this applies for everything. Everything has its own organic blueprint that we can, in a sense, surrender to. Whether it's a relationship or a creative project or a movement or brand you're building or developing, it has its own intelligence, and it's not necessary for us to carry that on our backs or feel like that's something we have to be responsible for. The more we can just give ourselves over to what is, even if it sometimes disappoints us or feels like it's not moving in the way we want it to move, the more free and light and fluid it will become. And that is where we get to the place where we become more like a river, like a wellspring of creation, rather than like these forceful, effortful kind of worker cogs that society kind of trains us to be. We're always thinking, always figuring out, always solving problems, always trying to put two and two together. But sometimes the best thing we can do is just move in trust, in knowing that there is something deeper guiding this, and whatever that ends up being, whether it's what we expect or not, there's value and beauty and medicine in that. And it's something that it's really just about putting the mind in its place, because the mind wants to be in control because it wants to feel safe. But control is never actually safe. It's often actually pushing you away from what you most desire. So the more you let go of control, the more you trust in what is, in the unique blueprint of what you're creating, then you're just going to notice everything becomes so much more solid, impactful, streamlined, potent in the ways that it comes through you, in the ways that it moves through you. Because our body, the intelligence of life, the intelligence of nature, is its own conduit, and we have been really disconnected from that conduit. And so we again carry so much pressure around the idea of force and pushing and controlling and strategizing outcomes and timelines, and those things can be helpful, but they're detrimental when they become burdens, when they start to weigh on you, when they start to steal from your energy and your joy. So many people move through this world in this place of every single thing that they're involved in, whether again it's a connection that's unfolding or it's a body of work they're trying to put out into the world. They are so much in this place of, if I don't get every detail right, if I don't figure it out perfectly, then I'm gonna lose it, or it's going to run away, or I'm gonna face disappointment, or I'm not going to be successful, or whatever it is that comes for it. But the reality is that there's just a deep intelligence to life that has its own rhythm. Your mind is probably not going to understand that rhythm. Your mind is probably going to fight that rhythm. Your mind is probably going to feel really uncomfortable inside of that rhythm. Just like, childbirth. It's not exactly an enjoyable time. It's filled with the highs and the lows. And it's the same with whatever it is that we're creating in our life, whatever it is that we're moving towards. And I just want you to imagine for yourself a life that you can move through where you feel like you don't have to be thinking so much about what is going right, what is going wrong. And you can just be moving with your intuition and the harmony of your spirit. Yes, there will be moments of uncertainty. Yes, there will be moments of emotion that you have to face. But you don't have to let those things tell you that control is the solution. Control is never the solution. Command is a good solution, but control looks like, I don't trust life. I don't trust the intelligence of what is moving me. I don't trust, and so I frantically grasp and I push and I cling and I fight for something instead of just letting the river move me. When you can let the river move you, you will still experience, again, all of the things that your control is trying to protect you from. But the difference is that you will be light inside of that. You will face it and you will flow, and you will face it and you will flow, and you will just continue moving until eventually you arrive at a place where you're like, wow, that was easy. It was kind of hard, but pretty easy actually. Just like when you're in that move and you're in that flow, the same way a child is forming in the womb, it's like, whoa, that was intense, but also that was pretty cool. Like, it's just, there's so much mystery to the intelligence of life, and I am inviting you to trust that mystery instead of fighting it, instead of using your mind to curate it and manicure it and control it. It's wild, and it's meant to be wild, and the wild is this duality that sometimes feels great and sometimes doesn't. But even within that duality, there's still something for you to lean on and trust. Sometimes when something doesn't work out or something falls apart, it's because something much bigger is meant to happen or come through. Sometimes the moments of loss or the moments of failure, they're actually pathways that are providing us a deeper kind of more rooted grounding to actually receive what we desire. If we take those moments and we try to control them, we actually rob ourselves of the deeper intelligence of what life is trying to provide us in that space. So this isn't just about the freedom that comes when you embrace this mindset. It's about the actual power of being able to receive from life and being able to move again with this deeper intelligence, rather than making your mind the sole instrument of existence. That's it's so wrong, and yet we're so conditioned like that, which is such a funny thing. But yeah, so my invitation is to go look at a little creature like a cat or a dog and just think about, like, would you want to be responsible for formulating their cells and the way their organs connect and the nerves in their eyes? I don't think so. So why are you trying to do that with everything else? I promise you, you're gonna feel so much lighter, so much better, so much richer and more joyful. And from there, life just moves beautifully. So much flow. I love you. Thanks for watching. Peace.